Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Today is a different type of show. Today is the actual 25th anniversary.
Yay!
For Kafi and Maurice. We want to know, are y'all excited for us? We want to know, are you happy for us? I want to know, are y'all ready to party? I'm sorry, Kaf. I'm just button happy right now. We're not going to do the intro today. Not the official intro.
Mm-hmm.
Or should we? You think we should? Just for old time's sake?
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast.
Yeah, that's all we want to do. Just, thank you for tuning in today because there's nothing else that y'all need to know. You're here with us. You tuned in for this purpose today. So, the reality is that it's our 25th anniversary today. And we have been through ups and downs, roundabouts. We have been dragged through the mud, run amok. What's the whole phrase like? But there's a lot of things that we've been through, a lot of things that we've learned, a lot of things that we've experienced. And we're still here to tell the story.
Yes, we survived it.
Well, what's the song?
I survived it. I don't know.
Oh.
Something like
I'm
that.
still alive. I'm sorry.
Yes, all the songs.
Yes.
We have many, many days, many, many years, weeks, months, hours, minutes, seconds of experience of being married, being together. And as Maurice said, there's been some ups, lots of ups, and some downs, some roller coaster rides, twisted turns, swings. But it's all a blessing. It's all joy.
Merry-go-rounds. I mean.
Yes. But we're here and we're happy and so happy to share.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I didn't want to clap. I know.
You should snap your fingers. So yeah, we're here and we're excited. We're 25 years are down. We're entering year 26 of being married. So September the 2nd, 2000, at 6:00 p.m. At the historic Jones Tabernacle.
Yeah,
AME
unfortunately,
Church.
that's the church that I grew up in, and that church is no longer in a building. They're worshiping still. They're online, but they're no longer in a building. So that has changed.
So, yes.
And then our reception venue has changed.
It's named.
It's still there, but that has changed.
Just like the church that we got married in, it's still there. It's still standing.
Yeah, the building's still there, yes, but they just not in the building.
Changed the name.
And the, some of the friends and some of them have kind of stayed around. Some have. Some have kind of dissipated into the Wild Wild West or, evaporated, whatever it might have been. Not that many, but a few. But one thing I have to say that when it comes to being married for 25 years, there's a lot that you have to learn about yourself. I had to learn. I had to grow. I had to beat myself up. I've had to prop myself up. I had to encourage myself. Again, what songs can you think of? I've been there. And so when we talk about this idea of being married for 25 years, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be totally honest. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not as simple and easy as it sounds. 25 years can go by fast, though. It can. But in that process, because you're growing and that other person is growing as well, and you have to be able to understand that, hey, you know what? We're not going to always agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what, y'all? We're not going to always be on the same page or what appears to be the same page. We're not going to always have the opportunities to talk things out. There's just a lot of different things that you have to come to a better understanding. There's a lot of things that you need to be able to compromise on, because that's all this is. It's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of negotiating with your spouse and yourself. And if you're too rigid, it won't last.
Mm.
That's just my opinion. If you're too rigid, if you're too like, hey, well, this is who I am, but this is who you are today. Because when you hear those words, in sickness and in health, right?
Mm-hmm.
With those two things, a lot changes. It could be physically, it could be mentally, it could be emotionally, and it could be spiritually. And if you're not willing to be with that person through all of that, see, a lot of times when we think about sickness and health, we think about somebody has a cold, somebody has pneumonia, somebody got the flu, right?
Right.
Somebody might be trying to eat more healthy or whatever it is. But what happens if that person's going through some type of emotional struggle because of maybe somebody lost their job? Hey, you know what? Maybe we just had the biggest argument. We don't know how that type of argument changes and shifts somebody's mentality.
Right.
The other part is, which is something that Kafa kind of wanted to talk about, when we talk about in sickness and in health, it's not technically sickness as much as health. But the reality is that when we got married, my body type was one thing. When Kafa got pregnant, I changed for whatever reason. Now, here's the reality too. As she's going through her postpartum ministry, whatever she's going through, menopause, right?
All of those things.
The reality is that, again, we're talking about health, right?
Yes.
So Kafa so the reality is that Kafa all these years have been extremely cold all the time. I was warm-bodied and whatever else. Oh my gosh. The roles have shifted. I am cold all the time. And then the problem is that like evidently I have hot flashes too because if I do something I get overheated, like I'm not just overheated, it's like I'm a radiator and I'm about to just burst.
Wow.
And so I realized that because, as Kafa had stated, like she wanted to do a show about how connected we are, that in that connection, I don't know if I have sympathy, subconscious sympathy for her, empathy, whatever it is. But the reality is that life has changed. And so she's complaining, where the heat at? Well, you ain't got no heat on your feet. Yeah, whatever it might be. I'm like, babe, like, no, like my temperature has dropped, 30 degrees Celsius or something.
Wow.
So, and we're in America, so I should say Fahrenheit, but y'all, get the gist.
Made that much of a shift, even shifted from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Yeah, so.
I think for me, throughout these 25 years, yes, we've grown much closer together. I can't recall. I don't remember which pregnancy it was whether it was the first or the second. But yes, your body did shift.
Mm-hmm.
You went from, a Slim Shady to,
Stay Puff Marshmallow Man.
Big Daddy. I remember getting your T-shirt that said Big Daddy on it. So some of those things did change. I do remember you said that, I don't know if you had cravings or you had morning sickness. Something was going on that I was just like, why do you have that?
Right.
So,
because you didn't have it. Whatever you didn't have, I had for whatever dumb reason.
Right. So, we certainly shared some of the
health challenges,
those symptoms together. So, just kindred spirits, working together, living together, loving on each other together. I think, someone has to have some scientific proof behind it, but somehow it does work out that you love me so much that you were like you said, was it sympathy pains and you felt sorry for me, or were you really, really going through it? I think you told me at that time, like, it's not sympathy pains. I'm really going through it. Like, this is really real.
like right now, like, again, you see, like we're in bed.
Yes.
And you're like,
not right now.
I mean, right.
When
we're laying in bed. And we have the sheet now. Granted, it's summertime. We only got a sheet on the bed, right? Top sheet. Well, I'm sorry. We got all the sheets. Just we don't have a blanket or a comforter or throw on that. But what I'm getting at is that, so I'm bundled up in the sheet. She is not covered at all. Mm-hmm. I am freezing. Meanwhile, she's laying out like she's on a beach somewhere, tanning and everything else. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what happened?
In previous summer, I would have had the sheet and a blanket.
Right.
And it would have covered my entire body.
Right. She would have had a whole sweatsuit on plus that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, it's like, no, she's chilling on the beach.
Most of the time. I mean, I do get to a moment where I feel cool.
Again, listen to the word cool.
Yeah.
It's not cold.
Mm-mm.
It's not freezing.
No.
And at those times, yes, I would be hot. I would be extremely hot. And
I would, cuddle up because you radiated heat.
Yes, I don't radiate heat anymore.
Yeah, things have changed.
All my body heat has gone.
It's gone. I try to cuddle up with him the last couple of nights because I'm not always hot. There are times where I feel cool, so I want to get close and snuggle. But then I go to touch and I'm like, your skin is cold. Like, this is not comfortable to snuggle with. Nobody wants to. I can't say no one. I don't want to snuggle with something that's cold. I like, warmth. I want body. I want something to be alive.
I'm alive because you.
No, because you have said many, many times that I was so cold that you thought I was dead.
I mean, because the problem is that you're cold, and then like the other night, right? You're laying on your back, and I went to go put my arm around you. I'm like, how come I don't hear anything? I put my hand on her stomach, being her belly button, up to her diaphragm. I put it on her throat. I mean, everything. Like, is she breathing? But it was such a really, really light breathing. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yes. That's not the first time you said I sleep very peacefully. You used to have to extend your finger below my nose to see, if.
Yeah, sometimes, like, there are times where I literally have to, like, do something in order for you to move, just so I know that you're still alive.
I'm alive.
Versus myself, like you said, the last couple nights, I've been sawing it up.
Teasing me that you're sleeping well, yes.
Oh, I'm not sleeping well. I'm just, I'm still dealing, again, for those of you who are out there that's had this pandemic thing going on, like, I didn't realize it was going to rock my world like this. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so again, but that's still part of that sickness and the health, right?
Yes.
And so when we talk about this whole health thing, we don't realize that whatever chemical changes one may have, the other one can possibly experience as well. And beyond the fact of, hey, we're just aging every day, right? As someone said not too long ago, Reese, as soon as I hit 45, like every single bone now hurts when I wake up in the morning.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's just life. At least you're alive. You get what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's one of the things of learning in marriage. Of, hey, being understanding, being open-minded. That when you talk about sickness and health, it's a whole heck of a lot more to it than just what your initial thoughts are. It's not the same. And because I've been able to be with you for such a long time, again, being you're blessed that, hey, I'm your only baby father, right? And so and you're my only baby mama. And so we've been able to experience those type of things together. And we've been blessed where we can experience it in or under the auspices of holy matrimony, and so and so with that comes, all right, we're in this together. If things get hard, I gotta think about it even more of, we're married. I can't just run off and just hide somewhere, or whatever. I got to go through it. And somebody said to me years and years and years ago when Kafi and I had a really, really big fight early on, we were still in our getting to know each other, being married stage, and, we got kids or whatever it is. And he said to me, my big brother, and I've been telling Kafi, a lot, he said to me, Maurice, you can't leave. You can't do anything. You can't give up until you can really say you've given 100% in this relationship. You can't. Until you've given 100%, you can't go. So he, in some ways, he told me and challenged me at the same time.
Right.
And so for those of you that are out there that's listening, when you're thinking about your relationship, can you really sit down and say you've given 100% in that process? 100% is not easy.
No. And I think the 100% changes as well. Just like you said, hey, our bodies have changed.
Right.
Our minds have changed, all of those things. So the 100% when we first got married is different than the 100% we give now. So, at any one particular time, have you given 100% or like you said, that's difficult because every day, even when you think about even outside of marriage, do you give 100% in your other relationships with work, with your kids, with your parents or whatever? Like, there's not too often that you give all of you at 100% and be on 100% all the time.
Well, see, like I saw a video or something like that when they said they asked these young girls, if you had a choice between your dad, your kids, or your husband, who would you give up or who would you leave or whatever, something along those lines. And it's funny that these young ladies said their husband. And on one hand, okay, I get it because the husband is a choice where the other sets are technically your blood. But the question is, are you really truly showing up for your husband? You made the choice, right? You are married for a reason. And here's the thing. Your father, depending on his situation, does he have a girlfriend? Is he married? Is he still married to your mom? Does he have a second wife? How old is he? Is he in a nursing home? Like whatever those situations are. So he's technically not with you, right? Your children, like this position that we're in right now. Yay, they're getting older. I had a conversation with a client of mine where she's like, my kids, they're older and they got their own places. Again, our kids are transitioning into, that same idea as well, And so guess what? The kids going to leave too.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do when, again, you sitting at night and you want to snuggle and you cold?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? Saturday mornings when you want to get up and go out to eat and you got to go by yourself.
Right.
Or, hey, you know what? It's 8:00 at night, which, Kafi and I have been doing a lot lately, i.e., the reason for the body shape. We've been going out and getting milkshakes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been treating ourselves to that. Some of it is a pick me up. Some of it is, hey, we're just going out for a date night, or whatever. So, so when you're in that relationship, it's a choice. It's a choice that you're making.
Right.
You're making a choice to show up. You're making a choice to be present. And until you can sit there and say you've given up 100% in that, Maurice, you can't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice, you can't do whatever. And I think that's one of the things that makes you start to change your mindset towards marriage, towards any other type of relationships. What is your priority?
Right.
So those are some of the things that, I've had to learn in addition to.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, like I said, over these 25 years, we've learned a lot. And we are continuing to learn about ourselves because we're changing, we're shifting, we're pivoting. Like Maurice said that, hey, I'm going through a change right now. And he as well is feeling some of that. So with that, we have to continue to refresh, continue to just understand and have grace for ourselves, have grace for one another, that, hey, things are not perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Things are not, there isn't, as we talked about before in the previous one, there's no perfection here, that because we're always changing. If it was perfect, then it wouldn't need to change. Because if it was perfect, then if it changed, then would it be more perfect? So I think we're always striving and trying to get better. But even with that, like I said, because I'm not the same as I was yesterday, you're not the same as you were 10 days ago, and we're not the same as we were 10 years ago. That we're constantly changing, we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly pivoting. And the pivot is not necessarily a negative thing. It's, it's just a change. Like things have to shift, things have to evolve. And our relationship has evolved. And I, want those who are listening, whether you're new in your relationship, new in your marriage, or you've been together as long as Maurice and I have, things work out, they work together, but there's going to be change. And you have to be okay with that and flow with it. Let it flow.
But, change is not easy.
Oh, I know that. We've talked about that all the time. That change hurts. Growing pains, but with change, there is something beautiful on the other side. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you look forward to that, and you look at that prize, and you look at where even if you don't look forward, even if you look at where you are now, I can look at Maurice for the situation that we're in right now and see the beauty of where we are right now. Mm-hmm. Even in the down times, the bad times that we've had, the struggles, when you're there and it's painful and you want to get out. But as Maurice said, you got somebody to rock with. You're in it with somebody else. You could be all by yourself. All by myself.
Yeah, you could be. You could be.
And trying to paddle all by yourself. But, hey, you have a teammate. And that means a lot. At times, your teammate might be paddling one way and you're paddling another way. And that can seem frustrating, but that's when you have to stop and communicate with each other, figure out which way we're going, and move forward in that capacity.
I think that's a very important analogy, Kaf, because the appearance is we're paddling in two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that for certain situations, not all or not even a lot, where we paddle in two different directions,
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have paddled our idea of paddling might have differed.
Mm-hmm.
We could have been in the same direction, but one could be faster than the other,
Mm-hmm.
right? One could be, all right, instead of paddling on the left side of the boat, canoe or kayak or whatever it is, one is on one side, one is the other side. But because it feels like it's two different directions because of we're paddling on different sides that we're spinning,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or whatever it might be, because one is paddling stronger than the other.
Right.
One person is half-hearted, with it, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
situation is. So I think that's a very key analogy that a lot of times we've been paddling in the same direction. It's just our viewpoint on it, our speed on it, our velocity on it, the sense of urgency. Like there's so many different factors to that.
Yeah.
Because for an example, if we're sitting here, and I'm just going, it's not this simple, but it's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
If we're sitting here right now and we're saying, you know what, tomorrow morning we want eggs, bacon, sausage, and potatoes for breakfast.
Right.
Well, Maurice, we don't have any eggs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, and sometimes in Maurice fashion, Maurice is like, all right, I'm going to get up and go get it done now. And then what happens in that situation is that Kafa say, well, Maurice, hold on for a second. I have a whole list,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I said, no, I'm just going to go. The same idea. We're both on the same page of doing breakfast, right? Now, the other side of that is that Kafa could do something very similar, where she's like, all right, I'm going to go right now and go get it done. But here's the thing. I just mentioned that she has a list.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, all right, Kaf, you're going to the market, you're going to go get eggs, right? So, but then she texts me and says, well, can you meet me outside? Outside for what? You only went outside for a dozen eggs.
Right.
A stick of butter and maybe some milk, right? You get what I mean? But you've come home with sparkling water, or you've come home with orange juice, or you might have come home with, chocolate cake, or some tasty, like you come home with all these other.
I come home with 4 or 5 bags full, and cases of like whatever he's saying. Again, I've gone to the market, and I'm not going to make it a wasteful trip, because guess what? After breakfast comes lunch and dinner.
But here's the thing, though. The reality is that the when either one of us goes to the market, we're both on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're both paddling in the same direction. The challenge is that what is really going on in that person's mind as they're going to the market.
Right.
So I'm saying, I'm going to go to the market. I might pick me up a Pepsi, right? Where she's coming home with 5 bags. So if I said, well, I'm going to the market, I know I can go and come right back, and we can sit here and watch this movie, where if Kafa goes, she's out for a little while longer. And so now I'm not interested for whatever the situation is. I'm not like, all right, well, you got these bags, and I start doing something else, like, whatever. And so it's not that we're not on the same page or have the same desired outcome. It's just the manner that we go about it and how we maneuver in it. Now it looks like that we're not on the same page.
Right.
And as I just stated, like I might be out of sync and not feeling it. Well, guess what? She might be out of sync and out of it as well because I just jumped up and ran out, And so she's like, and then, excuse me, and then not talking about it.
Right.
She's like, well, Maurice, there's a lot more stuff that we could get.
And I think that's where a lot of couples have issue is and have disagreements because of their viewpoint and the way that they process the need.
Right.
So one is thinking, hey, we need eggs. I'm going to go get eggs. And that takes care of the immediate.
Right.
Where the other person may be a big picture thinker and maybe saying, hey, if you're going to go and drive, because we don't have corner stores, you're going to get in the car and go drive 15 minutes or 10 minutes away and go to the market, then you might as well pick up a couple of items because we still need, again, to figure out what we're going to eat for the rest of the day. Because after breakfast, what are we going to do? Are we going to go then figure out what we're going to have for lunch? Or if we're skipping lunch and we just got to figure out dinner, what's that going to be? Mm-hmm. Because very rarely do you have everything, well, at least for us, all the things that we want for dinner. Like it might be like, hey, we have the meat and the starch, but I don't really want those vegetables that we have. I'd rather have something else. Or I want that vegetable, but I want something else on it, So there'll be something that we'll come up with that's like, I got a taste for this or whatnot. Like Maurice said, hey, we'll go out for milkshakes or whatever. So some of those things is just being okay that you are paddling differently. And then how do you still move forward and still meet your goal? How do you still move forward and still have a good breakfast? Knowing that one person's going to run out and just get eggs and come right back. And the other person's going to go out and get eggs and think about what else do we need for the remainder of the day so that we don't have to go back out. Or, hey, for me, I was just going to get eggs, but this is on sale and that's on sale and the sale ends, so let me go ahead and get it.
Yeah, see, the challenge with that as well is that sometimes Kafa, because she gets into that space, she's going to more than one store.
But not if I'm getting ready to make breakfast. Let's rewind.
I'm saying that, if it's nighttime and we want it for the morning.
Okay.
And so you may run, and I'm talking, when I say nighttime, I'm talking, let's say 6:30, 7 o'clock-ish. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, she might run into this store here, and they're like, you know what, because this was on sale, I might run to this store over here because, again, some of the things that I don't take in consideration, she's been studying, or she knows when this sale ends at this store and when this one begins and all that type of stuff. So she knows that. So if she were to go outside and go to the market, what I need to do is understand that no matter what it is, it's a 2-hour market run, right?
That, and I like variety. Maurice, sometimes calls me the short order cook. Because again, like he said, if we're discussing on Friday night, or we're going to have, a big breakfast in the morning, as he said, he wants eggs, home fries, and the breakfast meats. And I might be like, oh, okay, that's good, but when I would go out to get the eggs, I was like, well, round it out, Maurice, a biscuit. That would make it even better. Like,
yeah, but the challenge with
but
that
wasn't
is,
on the menu, but because I'm there and I'm thinking, but without communicating that with him, I'll just be in the market like, you know what would make everything look, even better?
I mean, it's not so much of the biscuit as much as the biscuits are on sale, and I'm just going to use names of markets. The eggs might be on sale at Giant, but the biscuits might be on sale at Acme. Right. And so you understand that, again, as you just stated, everything's not at the corner store. Mm-hmm. So you're talking a good 15 minutes between each store. Right. Could be 25 depending on traffic and construction, right?
Yes.
And so the thing is that, am I understanding enough? Mm-hmm. Because maybe I had other ideas. Run to the store, you'll come back, and maybe we can sit here and finish watching, one of our
Whatever
Korean, Japanese crazy shows that we be watching sometime, or whatever. But by the time she gets back, now, you know what, the feeling is over. And she's like, well, what's next? And I'm like, not a doggone thing. And...
But I think that takes time to understand that. Did you know that 20 years ago that I was that type of shopper? No. I think it has taken time to understand that.
Right.
Likewise, sometimes Maurice will say, "Do you want me to go shopping with you?" No.
Yeah, because sometimes in those situations, I don't have the so this is where, as y'all heard about patience, right? I don't have the patience. Like, I forgot what in the world, where did we go when we was with Janae the other day? And we're with Janae. So Janae and I are kind of walking ahead. We actually lose Kafa. I lost her because
I'm short.
No, it's not because you're short. It's because you're perusing a whole bunch of different things. And so I'm like, why is she looking at that? We're not here for that. Like, you get what I mean? But then if I'm actually in that mode, like, I have to be in that mode of I'm really out to enjoy being out versus I'm on a mission.
Right.
And a lot of times when I go outside, I'm on a mission.
And he's very, so I'm the one, and again, it takes time, and that's what we're just trying to let couples know, like, it's okay to be different,
right?
And that it takes time to get to know oneself, and it takes time to get to know one another. So we're saying all these stories, but basically, in a nutshell, we're just explaining by our stories that it's okay and that it takes time. So.
And this what leads to 25 years.
Yes. So many, many years ago, I did not know these things about Maurice, and I didn't know these things about myself. I mean, I knew I liked to window shop. And Maurice, I think I learned early on, maybe when we first got married, somewhere in there. It was within the first 5 years that you're not a window shopper. You're like, we ain't buying nothing. What we going there for?
Right.
I'm like, well, we got to see, what it's like. And if this store has it and if it's better than this store, he's like, why are we going to go to another store if they have it at this store? Because the other store might have different colors. Again, I'm options. What are my other options?
Yeah, but I think sometimes in those other options lead to indecisions of purchasing something. So, right. like I'll give y'all an example. I understand. I'm sorry, Kyle. Let me, I'm going to jump in your story real quick.
Yes.
So, if we're going out shopping and someone needs shoes, right? So, if we go outside, I already know what shoes or sneakers I want. Versus, and I understand, hey, Maurice, here's these shoes. Let me go look at these over here. So, my thought is like, you like them, buy them.
But again, for men, and what you're talking about shoe-wise, you usually have, it's a sneaker, it's a certain brand. So you know how it fits, how it feels. It's true to size, it's large, a little bit bigger than. So you can just go in and pick out that color, knowing that brand. However, when you say shoe, for us female, and even sometimes if it is the same brand, it can differ.
I understand that, but my thing is...
So I have to try it on. I have to...
But that's even after you've tried it on. Like, you could try it on and say, I like this flat. I'm just going to use a black flat, right? Something generic. Something that almost every store carries, right? But you'll go to DSW, you'll go to Macy's, you go to Famous Footwear, you'll go to... Favor, you go to Payless shoe store.
Teleport it back in time, the Favors.
You'll do all these, and then, hey, Kaf.
Yes.
We've been out for the last 3 hours and 47 seconds.
Yes.
And you didn't buy not one shoe. So I'm ready to go back and go get the shoe, especially when you seem like you favored, right? And you're like, well, no. Well, no. You don't need variety. You need to just go in there, get the black flats, because you said you need the black flats. I don't care if you get 3 pairs of black flats, one from each store. Because guess what? Each one is not necessarily the same color, the same style, or whatever it is.
And that's going to be the thing. Like, one's going to be an almond toe, one's going to be a rounded toe, one's going to be a peak toe. One's going to be...
And guess what? Each one of those calls for, in my estimation, especially when it comes to fashion, each one of those calls for something else, right? So why not get all 3?
Because then I don't need all those different blacks.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
Black flats. I need a wedge. I need a heel. I need a pump. I need a flat.
So this is why we differ in that whole space, right? Because again, so I'm not sure if y'all used to follow me back in the day. I really like Allen Iverson's the questions, right? Mm-hmm. So in all reality, and I also like Nike Air Max 95s. So if you were to go in my closet right now, I think I have about
blah, 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 number.
Right. I probably have 7 pairs of each. 7 questions, 7 95s. That's not including all the other Reebok classics I might have, or whatever it is, right? And so, yes, different colorways, different styles. It all depends on how I feel, whatever. But it's the same sneaker, right? Now, some people might say, well, Maurice, that might be overkill. But no, each one has a different vibe to it. So to me, each one of those black flats.
But they're not all black. They're all, especially when it comes to your questions, they're all different. No 2 look the same. Even if the majority color is white, the next one at the majority color white, it looks totally different. So they're not all black flats.
They're not.
So I don't think you can compare the 2.
I would say I would put it like this. I would put it like this.
Yes, dear.
I would say probably about 70% of my sneakers have the same color pattern: red, black, and white. I would say probably about 70%.
We'll have to go do an estimate. We'll have to go challenge that. I will challenge you on that. 70% have
about 70.
Have it all together or?
No, they're red, black, and white. Some type of combination of that.
Okay.
Right? And so, why are you shaking your head?
Because I don't believe it. 70% have red, black, and white in them.
Yes.
Not just an all white pair, all black pair,
no,
a black and red pair, or black.
I only have like 1 all black. Mm-hmm. No, 2. Mm-hmm. I have maybe 2 all white. Okay, okay, maybe 3.
Okay, so again, you're now saying 70% of your shoes.
Yeah, but I think about 70% of my shoes are that colorway.
No, you need to decrease that have all. No, not
at
all.
And we're gonna come back on the show and we're gonna talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
When I pull them all out, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, so to me, it's how you feel, how you looking that day, what's going on, or whatever it is. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
And so as we're talking about this, I think that, again, when I say something about patience or shopping or whatever it is, again, these are things that you learn in this 25 years. Not just about that individual that you're with, but even for yourself.
Yourself, right.
Because now, and understanding that, why do I feel that way? Why am I saying, Kafi, just get all 3 pair? Mm-hmm. Now, in my mind, because if you hear Kafi's reasoning, like, Maurice, I don't need 3 pairs of black flats. I'm saying, okay, the black flats are because one is pointy, one is stubby toe, and one is whatever, right? And so each one to me has a different flow with a different pair of pants, mm-hmm. or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So each one to me are different shoes. They're not the same. Just because they're black doesn't mean that they're the same show. That's just the way I feel about that.
And I agree. They are different and they will flow differently with different outfits and whatever. I totally agree. Yes.
And so that's why my thought is, if you want them, especially since Your shoes don't cost a whole heck of a lot per se. You could get those and be like, yo, let me get the rainbow special, right?
Now, I have done that. Again, growing up, I had the rainbow special. I had a shoe in every color, but it wasn't necessarily one shoe. So, I had a ballerina, I had a penny loafer, I had another type, whatever.
But going back to the reason why I'm saying to get it, because of
my
the
indecisiveness.
lack, not the indecisive. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's also the lack of variety that I know that I lacked in my wardrobe growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so where I wanted a different shoe, because again, here's the other part of that as well. You wear the stubby toe blacks, right? And you just so happen you hit your toe on the curb. No, let's go with the pointy toe ones, because those could be like 10 inches longer than what the shoe is. And so you stump your toe on the curb. You don't lift your foot up high enough on the curb.
Yeah.
All of us do it every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
You might not actually kiss the ground, but you get close enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get scared enough, right? And so you do that. Guess what? Now your shoe is scuffed. Do you really want to wear them tomorrow? Not necessarily.
Well, you're not supposed to wear your shoes more than, back to back that way anyway. But so
I'm just using that as an example. Though,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you're in that state, yeah, now you got another shoe that you can kind of transition out of.
Understood.
That's the reason why I make that statement.
I think, but it also goes back to, like you said, your level of patience. Because I don't as much now. I would go to 3-4 stores to do a comparison shopping, because I'm talking prior to internet and all those things. I would go 3 or 4 stores, not in a mall. I could go, just different shopping centers. And then collect all my data and then realize, hey, the shoes I saw in the first store were the best deal. And then I'll go and skip myself merrily back to the first store and say, get me those. I think for me, my hang up is having buyer's remorse. I've always hated buying something and then be like, dang, I should have waited. Because now they're on sale over here. Or, dang, I should have waited, because that's exactly what I was looking for. I wanted not a stubby toe. I wanted
a cutoff toe.
I wanted an almond toe. I wanted a peak toe. And I think I'm kind of picky. I'm not particular. I'm kind of picky when it comes to shoes. I don't like all 4 of my toes hanging out. I don't like...
Are we missing a toe?
No. Oh, all 5. Sorry. Thank you. I don't like all my toes hanging out. See, that's how much I don't like it, because I don't like to see all of that foot out. Now, if it's a T-strap sandal or, where the whole foot is out, then that's one thing. But certain ones where it's just the toes, I don't want to see all 5. You can give me 3, maybe 4, but preferably 3. I've had some really cute peak toes that was just like 2 toes. It's just because of the way it hits my foot, and I have a narrow foot, so it's always a little bit compromising for that. But Maurice, he'll be like, look at this shoe. I'm like, yeah. Or look at this sandal. I mean, I have been looking for slides for a year, trying them on, whatever. Every time I see them online, I go to the store, I put my foot in it, and my foot just slides right out of it on the other side. I'm like, toes are gripping the ground, and I don't want that. I don't want to buy them 2 sizes too large like some people do, so that, I just have a narrow foot and it just slides. I mean, I've had the box in my hand, get ready to walk up to the thing. And I said, no, let me try them both on, because I try one on and it's kind of okay. I try them both on and it's like, it feels like somebody else was in the shoe.
I think what it is,
and it's
that
stretched out.
You just really just need to, I think you and I talked about it. You just need to go get the old Moses sandals. With the thong in between the toe, like that old school stuff.
Yeah, but that's not as comfortable either.
Yeah, but you like you said, you've been looking for something new because your other shoes are done, right?
They are.
You know, and you won't get Crocs.
They're too big. They don't feel right on my foot.
You got to put the handlebar on the back. Put that handlebar back up.
The safety strap.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Crocs has some really cute ones, and I've looked, and I've tried. I even tried Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of other shoes that are coming in.
And I thought,
sandals.
because I didn't like those at first, and I said, oh, they got some cute ones. Put them on. The straps was just swimming in the air, just floating in the air, like they belong somewhere else, nowhere near my foot. Yeah, so.
So again, these are things that we learned in 25 years.
I would have been walking in my foot, and I've done that. I've bought shoes just to have them, and I've been walking and my foot just come out the shoe because I have no safety straps.
Yeah, that's why you need the Crocs.
But if I'm still leaning, yeah, okay, we'll try. We'll have to go out shoe shopping together.
Never. I'm sorry.
Happy anniversary! Let's go shoe shopping, babe.
Yeah, we could do that. Someday.
Why your eyes moving so much?
Why didn't? Because it'll happen one day. I mean, soon, maybe. Soon and very soon.
You all hear that my husband has made a promise to go shoe shopping with me.
I don't think I said I promise. I don't
you
think
said
we
we're going to go
pinkies.
soon.
Yeah, that's not a promise though.
So that's not a promise. It's just your word. Your word is your bond. What's the difference between, like, if you're saying, hey, we're going to go shoe shopping, and you saying, hey,
we're going shoe shopping. We're going eventually.
Yeah. Eventually.
I have to think about that.
Work up to that.
Yeah, we got to work up to that. Maybe by our 30th anniversary. But again, these are all the things that go into that 25 years. 25, when you say 25, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a whole lot.
Oh, it sounds like a lot now. You used to ask me, does it sound like a lot? I'm like, no, it's been a piece of cake. It's been, yeah, but now when you say 25, I'm like, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't get to this point. You know, a lot of people are not blessed enough.
25 years, I mean, other than saying, hey, I'm 25 years old, but 25 years in anyone, nobody's saying, hey, I worked at this company for 25 years. Nobody's saying I lived in this house for 25 years. Right. No one's saying I've had this car for 25 years. No one's saying I've been, there are a few people out there that say I've been married for 25 years, but what else, what else is there?
I mean, and something that we said there was most recently, we're like, yo, we're legal now. Mm-hmm. Like, we can get real insurance now. Like, like that's just the way it feels. Like, we've been together like that long that we are adults. Like, right. we're grown in this situation. We have a lot of data. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of experiences. So if someone wants to say, hey, well, what is it like to be, married for 25 years? Well, one of the things I could say is, or what's one of your potential down moments or whatever it is? Well, we didn't have oil in the house. And us not having oil not only meant we didn't have heat in the house, we didn't have hot water in the house. Mm-hmm. So what does that feel like? And hold on for a second. And because you don't have hot water in the house, you don't have no oil and you don't have any hot water in the house, you go to turn on the hot water because you don't even know you don't have any oil, right? And guess what? The thing fires up, and then because it's burning all of the soot at the bottom, now your house is full of soot or whatever it is. Like, it's been some really, really crazy, even health dangerous situations, that you got to learn. You got to realize, like, hey, I got to stay on top of this. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't realize, especially when for us, I know for myself, when we went into that, to our home that had, where the oil heated both the water and the house, that sometimes you don't realize how much hot water you use that you might waste or whatever it is. You got to consider, well, every time we wash our hands, hey, you know what? The kids were outside today. They came in, they washed their hands, they had to do this. Then they went back outside. Then they got to wash their hands when they come back. You know what? Everybody got to wash their hands before you eat dinner. Hey, you use the bathroom. How many times did you use the bathroom today? Did you wash your hands? You got to use, do that as well. Oh, you know what? We forgot that we washed clothes yesterday. How many loads of clothes do we have? Not just Kafa and I, but you know what? We got to wash sheets. We got to wash towels. Oh, wow. We did have to wash the kids' clothes because Maurice, he decided he wanted to be Superman on the ground and just slide across all the grass in school. So there are some things we had to wash once. Oh, wow, twice, maybe even 3 times, because of that. Oh, you had football practice too. Now we got to wash that stuff. And then guess what? That stuff got to be washed by itself because it has a whole bunch of other stuff on it that you want to put in other clothes. So there are some things that you don't always take into account when those things happen.
Right.
And those are things that you got to learn through the process. It's not an easy, hey, you know what? Just turn the key situation.
Right. But I have to say, even with all of that you're explaining in reference to the oil, what I don't recall, or what I do recall is how blessed we were. Because I don't recall having to boil a pot of water and take it through the house. I remember that years, in my childhood, type of thing, and hearing other people talk about it. But I don't recall us doing that, even with us having, hey, the oil's out. I just remember, calling and...
No, I remember once or twice, old school filling up the tub with hot water. I do remember that. But it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and because we had other situations going on as well, like you said, it's like, oh, wow. It's like one thing after another. So it wasn't like straight, like that was the only situation. It might have been that, plus this. Mm. And so us not having oil, as you just stated, we might not have had it that morning, like when everybody went to school or whatever it was. We might have had it when everybody got home, though.
Right.
And so, like you said, it was one of those type of situations. But
it's just because we had an old tank and you couldn't read it to see when the oil was low. I think somebody who's listening should create an oil tank that alerts you. It beeps. It was supposed to whistle. You used to say it was supposed to make a noise when it gets low, but the only time I heard it whistle was when they were filling it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially for that particular house.
I think there might be something out there. We just don't know because that's not the space that we're in.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
So if you're listening and you know that there's a device to put on the oil, go ahead. Put that in the comments below, so for those who are using it can be aware that there's something out there that helps them know, hey, oil's getting low. Especially for how old that house was. The tank was really, really old, and the meter kind of faced the wrong way, so you couldn't really see it. You had to climb.
It wasn't straightforward.
You had to kind of climb almost over it in some way in order to kind of see the meter. So it was always difficult to know how much oil you had remaining.
So 25 years, sickness and health. Again, talking about the heating situation, buying shoes, or whatever it is. Some of those are emotional situations. Some of those are mental. Some of those are physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, how much did it test our spiritual health?
Yes.
How much did that test our spiritual growth?
Mm-hmm.
How much of that made us fall on our knees? How much of that sometimes we forgot to fall on our knees? And I think those are things that as we continue to move forward and we understand how much God has blessed us through this process, how much he has kept us in this process. I don't take it lightly.
Mm-mm.
I don't
it's
take
only
it lightly.
by God's grace that we are here this 25 years. He has truly been in our midst, even when we didn't recognize and know that he was working behind the scenes, or he was orchestrating the whole thing, because we were on our knees and like, Lord help me, I don't know what to do. But there's been times where things were kind of on our own and doing things on our own, not even thinking or questioning and asking God, how do we go forward? We were just moving, like I'm gonna go get this. But God, still, even through all of that, still showed up and has been present in our lives this entire 25 years. I'm grateful. I am so thankful to have you in my life, Maurice. I look forward to the next 25 and beyond. So, you talked about all the aches and pains we have already. So, through sickness and health, and we've had some sick moments, both of us. Of course, most of the days are healthy, but looking forward to whatever God has in store for us. I know that if we continue to focus on Him and we keep Him first in all of this, it can only get better. And, we'll continue to share with you all that are listening this journey that we have. 25 plus. That's what we're doing next. 25 plus. We're ready.
And I will say that, Kafa, I've been, especially quite a few last episodes, I was saying just thank you for, just you being you. Sometimes we don't celebrate the individuality that we have. We don't want to acknowledge it. Sometimes we need to think that, hey, we're on the same page and whatever it is. But guess what? Life is not about everybody being on the same page all the time because of things that we don't take in consideration. If you work a 9 to 5 and the other person works a 9 to 5, then who's in their ear all day, every day? Right? And when I say that, it doesn't have to be like they're trying to talk to somebody or whatever it is, but, you don't know what they hear when they hear all the other craziness that's going on. You don't know what they hear when their job is like, hey, you know what? We're not sure we're going to be here in 6 months. You're not sure what they hear when, you know what? They go into their manager's office or the supervisor's office and they have their yearly review and their yearly review sucks, whatever it is. Or, I banged it out. I did the best thing I could. Well, you know what? Because of our situation, we didn't have any profits this year. We can't give you a yearly increase. We can't give you any profit shares or whatever it is. But, did you read the newspaper how the CEO y'all just gave him a $30 million bonus? And I can't get one? And I'm the face. I understand that he's looking at things from a macro perspective. He's, looking to go to maybe some government entities and do this and that or whatever else. But guess what? I'm the one that's sitting here in the chair who has to talk to these customers that helps to create the community that you're looking to sell to. So I'm not as important. So again, you don't know what those people have to deal with. And so when they come home and now you're trying to talk to your spouse and they'll be like, I'm good. I'm okay. You're going to take them for their word, but not knowing that they are really in a funk. Not knowing that they really are like on the brink, of, one of these days I'm going to run right off this bridge on my way home. That I don't really feel like walking in this house. That when I wake up in the morning, maybe I just want to go back to sleep and not wake up again. Like, you really don't know those challenges that people deal with. And sometimes because we get caught up in our own stuff sometimes, we don't even take the time or the energy to even recognize that person is struggling. And sometimes, Kaf, neither one of us done it at all. Sometimes we've overdone it, paying attention or whatever it is. But the thing is that, in my opinion, is that over the years, we've had to go through some situations to understand that, yo, you know what, as you stated earlier, that this person's going to ride with me.
Right.
That this person is here. When I just said something about, the young ladies choosing their father or their kids over their spouse or whatever it is, well, guess what? Those individuals aren't going to be with you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there with you when you have diarrhea. You just threw up all over the bathroom. They're not going to be there with you when you are going through menopause and, everybody got hot flashes and everybody don't know what to eat and, whatever it is, because that's not their life.
Right.
And so when we're sitting here talking about not having oil, well, the kids didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When we sit here and talk about the lights being off, yeah, our parents kind of knew. They kind of gave us a couple of dollars back then or whatever it is to help us out. But I know that at least there was a few moments where we had to pay back. And so the reality is that everyone is not going to always be there right with you through the whole process. And everyone is not going to be as supportive and go through the trenches with you. Because also, as you stated, Kyle, there's a lot of people that's out there for themselves. And in all reality, in order to be where we are right now, I had to learn that, hey, I'm not always as important as I think I am. I had to learn that, and that, when people say, God, allow me to decrease so you can increase, God, like, yo, I need you to lead me and guide me through this process. What does she need in this situation? God, what do I need in this situation in order for us to move forward? Bless us, God, that, hey, we don't make such a misstep that is so detrimental.
Right.
That in this situation, I understand, God, that, what, that decision might have not been the best decision. Yes, you gave us, the, the decision to the ability for us to make decisions or whatever it is, that you're ultimately supposed to get the glory through this anyway. But also in this, I don't want to be hurt too bad, and if I am hurt bad, allow me to understand what the message is. Let me learn from that, and how do I grow? And so I can't sit here and say that Kafi and I have not had our bumps and bruises through this process, that we haven't learned a whole lot about ourselves individually and as a couple. But the reality is that each and every one of you could do the exact same thing.
Yes.
Each and every one of you that's out there can take this opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to learn how to be a better spouse.
Yes.
One way or another. And the other part of that is, in addition to that, I'm going to learn how to be a better parent. I'm going to learn how to be a better child, to my parents or whatever it is. I'm gonna learn how to be a better niece, nephew, grandchild, co-worker, maybe even a neighbor, right? You get what I mean? Because we're all in this together. Some positions are closer than others, right? But we all can do it. We all can make it together. And if you really understand when it comes down to generational wealth, it comes down to the family. The family is what brings it together. The family is the nucleus. That's where your wealth really is. And until you really understand that and you change the mindset on that, you're not going to be able to get to another place, because you have to say, God, I am your child, right? And so if he's the provider, he's the one that's taking care of you, right? That's father. I mean, that's a family dynamic. That's a level of respect, a level of honor, a level of acknowledgement, understanding your place in that situation. All those things you got to understand in your relationship with your spouse. 25 years is not easy. It isn't. But it has some rewards. And so for me, Kaf, I know I went on a whole tirade. But it is probably the greatest reward that I ever had. It is the greatest gift that God has ever given to me. yes, my kids are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. You know, our kids are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. You know, our parents have been, you know, great as well. You know, in-laws, so there's some things that are dynamics that as I listen to other people, I don't have the in-laws from somewhere else. You get what I mean? I don't have those situations.
Right.
And part of that is, again, it's all about how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
It's the environment that you create. And so when it comes down to it, enjoy yourself, enjoy your spouse, and understand that 25 years is work. Is a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
It's fasting. It might be some moments of you feel desperate and in despair, but there's also a lot of happiness,
Yes.
a lot of joy,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of moments where you might be playing numbers with your daughter. I don't know, but you know, but yeah, you know, so take the time to honor, respect the relationship that you're in, and Kafa, that's where I am with you. We've been through a lot, and we just shared with y'all in the last hour and 10 minutes of what we've experienced. Different stories, different ideas, different situations that hopefully you can learn from and grow from. That, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't go through that, but something very similar to that happened in my life. And know that, hey, if you need somebody, we'll be there. We can help you through the process. If you need somebody to talk to, need somebody to, you know, bounce ideas off of, need someone to say, hey, you know what, Maurice or Kafa, you know, be sure to send us an email, NoFruitPodcast@gmail.com. Hey, we're having challenges in our marriage. We're having challenges in our relationship. Hey, you know what? I don't know if I should marry this person or not. Mm-hmm. You know, and all I'm going to say to you is, did y'all eat some shrimp and grits? I don't know. Like, I'm going to say something stupid. You know, so that's all, you know, I got to say. You got any last parting words, Kyle?
No, I said my parting words, and then you went on your
I
sermon.
know, man. Like, I can't stop. Can y'all please pass the plate?
Yes, that's all I can say is, you know, pass the plate. You know, everybody say, let the church say amen. Let the church say amen.
Let the church say amen.
Maurice has spoken.
No. Nope.
Okay. God has spoken through
I want to
Maurice.
know, how tone deaf are we? Because we have not sang a song. Sing a song, a sixpence pocket full of rock. I'm sorry, I don't know why that came out.
What?
I don't know why that nursery rhyme popped in my
And the
head.
fact is, it's sixpence just tells you how old it is. But I've never heard that song. You'll have to teach it to me or show me after we look through all your sneakers.
Oh, going in after we missed that moment. But we thank y'all very much for listening.
Thank you so much.
Through our rant. And
Happy
thank you very much
year
for our
anniversary.
25th anniversary party. And the reality is that this is our longest episode ever. I didn't think I could do that.
Oh, you still got more in you, I'm sure, because you're looking at me like you're ready to keep going.
Not today.
Okay.
It's night
because you're ready
time.
to go count sneakers. Okay, let's go. Thank you all so much for listening. Please remember to like, share, comment, and all that good stuff.
Yes. Thank y'all very much. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast, where we bring you fruitful conversations, ripened wisdom, and love that's deeply rooted. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration in their day. Until next time, stay rooted in love, and remember, Every seed you plant today shapes the fruit of tomorrow.